Welcome to another episode of Systematic Geekology. This is a space where we seek to create and cultivate healthy conversations between those things we geek out on and the philosophical and theological questions that often arise out of our fandoms. Like, what does it mean to be human? What makes a hero? What makes a villain? How do the stories and narratives we geek out on shape how we live in the world? We are your priest to the geeks. We aren't all ordained, but we see ourselves as mediators at the intersection of geek culture and going deeper in our faith. We don't always have to agree, but we do respect each other, and we see everyone as a beloved child of God. Everyone geeks out on something, so come geek out with us and enjoy the show.
This show is a proud member of the Anazal Podcast Network.
What happens to the worlds of fiction we love if they're thrown off course? Guys, this is Systematic Geekology. We are the Priest of the Geeks. I'm your host, Christian Ashley, today on another Geeks on a Roll episode. I'm repping the shirt. It's a great time to be alive. And we've got two new players today to this, not to the channel, not to the show, but to Geeks on a Roll. I, of course, am with the handsomest of all men, Nick Polk. How's it going, Nick?
You know, it's good until I found out that you're a liar, Christian Ashley, because you are the most handsome man in the world. So, but I'm excited to be here.
I'll take it. And then, of course, we have Gollum stunt double, John Erdely. How's it going, John?
Yes, I was in fact Gollum stunt
got
double.
Got paid the big bucks.
And looked just like him. They actually based Gollum off of me. You know, when he created the character in the 1950s before I was born, he actually saw into the future, saw my face, and designed Gollum off of me.
Tolkien had a vision and went, oh God, please no. And you know what? It worked.
Tolkien is omniscient.
All right. So, gentlemen, before we head into the game proper, what have you guys been geeking out on?
Well, I've been geeking out on Once Upon a Time. Been giving that a rewatch with the wife, and that's been a lot of fun. And the Dark One cracks me up every time he's on the screen.
I get it. I got into Once Upon a Time to impress a girl. It didn't work, but it was a fun enough show.
That happened to me with the Jonas Brothers. The things we do for love, you know. But the thing I've been geeking out on, two things. I've been reading Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and just immersing myself into the Victorian English countryside and romance. And then I've been playing Shadow of Mordor. Nice. I've been going through some older games, and so just been kind of addicted to that recently.
Okay. Yeah. I just finished the base game for Star Wars Outlaws, which was fun enough. I have my issues with it overall, but at the end of the day, it's a fine 7 out of 10. I definitely played again way later on. But gentlemen, today we're going to be in another Geeks on a Roll episode. So for those of you, this is your first time, we have two first timers right here. This is one where we go through a pre-planned scenario where we, the DMs, adapt to the choices that you guys bring, including the characters that you make based on different archetypes we select. There'll be multiple times for you to roll to beat a challenge, or if you have a question about something in the environment, want to figure something out. I'm not going to throw a limit on there unless there's something like I'm not going to make you run combat rolls for everyone because that would take too long as someone who's endured many D&D combats. It is what it is. So you guys have any questions before we move forward? You ready to go?
Where's the panic room?
Oh, you're going to need it, buddy. All right. So I have entitled this episode Corrupted Fantasy. And I had told them forever ago when they were selecting characters, the theme of this episode would be corruption. Now, I had not planned on the many references we had made earlier to this outside of one, because we're going to be going into very, very familiar territory for our young men here, our young, handsome men, even John. This, of course, corrupted fantasy. We see in the background good old Mount Doom and Sauron. Now, before we head that way, though, we have to go through the characters you selected. Now, I gave for some of these extremely broad categories, some a little narrower, and these are the ones you're going through. In a while, you're going to explain who, but first off, we're going to go character by character, and our first character here is Spyro. So what do you guys have to say about good old Spyro?
Well, Spyro is a charismatic, heroic dragon who is, if I remember correctly, he's pretty small and they comment on his size, but he ends up being the big hero, especially in the original games. And I grew up on the original PlayStation 1 games. I love the janky graphics and the there's just a lot of fun collecting all the stuff, flying around and burning the sheep, chasing all the little critters, and then eradicating all of the wildlife was one of my favorite pastimes as a kid.
Certainly not a sign of things to come.
Oh yeah, the justified animal cruelty that you get to enact in the original Spyro games is fantastic.
Perfect. All right, so that was our idealistic character. Now we have a religious character. I specified any earth religion, and you picked Guanyin from Buddhist mythology and the like. So go ahead, Nick, why don't you say a little bit about Guanyin? We'll once again explain why you picked them in a bit, just like for people unaware of the character.
Yeah, so Guanyin is the goddess of compassion, and she goes even further than Buddhist. So she's like the current Buddhist goddess in like various regions of China and other parts of the Far East. And she's also been a part of like Chinese folklore going to like prehistory. But she's an important figure in a lot of Chinese mythology. And, for an example, in some of the Wukong myths, she comes along as a guide and helps and things like that. So she's really just a helper, and sometimes she heals. But yeah, that's who Guanyin is. She's got also like a ton of arms, as people can see on the screen if they're watching.
Yeah, fun fact, originally Guanyin was a man, but as the mythology drifted on, became a woman. And if you say goddesses in Buddhism, what are you talking about? What Buddhists are very multifaceted in the fact that there are some of you know God, some are agnostic, some do believe in multiple gods. There's a lot of transference sometimes with something like, Hinduism and the like. So for anyone out there, how dare you say this Buddhist would think that? Well, you're not thinking of the same Buddhist I am, or we are.
Correct.
So I just want to throw that out there. So next off, we have a superhero. I specified anyone who can lift less than 20 tons, and you chose good old Freakazoid. So who is Freakazoid, Nick?
Freakazoid.
Freakazoid is a superhero who runs around in underwear.
Yeah.
He is super fast and super crazy. And he's actually doesn't really even have his own show. I think he's like a small little mini episode that's attached to like Animaniacs. But for some reason, he just popped up in my head, and he's just very zany and super fast. He's almost like a Flash character if the Flash was a slapstick Looney Tune, I guess.
Yeah, I never watched that. I know there was a show that he spun off of the Animaniacs, I'm pretty sure, like you said.
Yeah.
But I know enough about him to have an idea. John, you have anything you want to add for Freakazoid?
I like Freakazoid. He's always full of references and comments that talk about pop culture, and it's because, in his backstory, he had the entire internet downloaded into his brain, which, circa the era he came out, wouldn't have been as big of a problem. If it happened today, he'd probably be a different character.
He'd be creating different websites to overthrow various different institutions. But this was, the 1990s, so it was just pure references and fun.
Yeah. All right, next up on our docket, you picked a gardener, and I didn't railroad you into this one, even though I kind of figured this might be the answer. Your gardener you picked was good old Samwise Gamgee.
I think, John, you should take this because you came in swinging earlier with some Samwise quotations.
I love Samwise Gamgee. He's kind of idealistic also, but he's just like pure good paragon, best friend material of, Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, where he provides basically the ultimate support character for his journey, and, as exemplified by when Frodo's trying to leave and Sam comes around, he's like, "Of course you are, and I'm coming with you," when Frodo wanted to be alone. But he's just a moral compass. He's always doing what he can to help, and he provides sometimes, inspirational speeches and talking about keeping spirits up and focusing on the task. And he helps Frodo. There would have been no, resolution to the Lord of the Rings if Samwise hadn't been there to support his best friend.
Well said.
The true hero of the story.
Absolutely. The absolute bro you can get out of this story. Like, there was one time I had found a fan-made D&D class. This can be a subclass for paladins. Would be Oath of the Brotherhood. It'd be like, always look out for your bro. I was going to base him off of Samwise, but that campaign unfortunately didn't come into fruition. But excellent pick. next up, I asked you to select a magical apprentice, and you chose Dende. Who's good old Dende for the Dragon Ball illiterate?
Gosh, I'm this is me. I love Dragon Ball Z. This is like one of my OG fandoms. I was there at I wasn't there at the beginning. It's kind of, I wasn't born in the 1980s, but I was there at the Toonami era watching this. And so Dende comes from the planet Namek, which is a planet where there's an alien race. This is where Piccolo comes from. Frieza is trying to, conquer it. And the DBZ fighters have to go and save it. And Dende is there, and he can heal people, essentially. And so after the destruction of Namek, he comes back to Earth. There's another Namekian who's like the guardian of Earth, named Kami. And
Kami.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Dende comes and replaces him. So he's kind of like this little character who's like very little, but then out of nowhere, he just, like most heroes, he gets the responsibility of guarding the entire Earth, put on his shoulders.
Okay. Well said. Well said. All right. Next up on our docket, I said you could choose between a physician, doctor, nurse of any sort in time, and you chose Kumar of Harold Kumar Go to White Castle. And it's Kumar, right? Or Kumar?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Kumar is if I remember correctly, his family are doctors, and he's pressured by them to also become a doctor, and he's actually really good at it, but he doesn't really want anything to do with it. Like, he has top medical school grades, but he just wants to get high and have fun, and that basically brings the plot of the movie, where he wants to go get burgers from White Castle. But he's a doctor in training, I guess.
Eventually, he does become a doctor. So in the first one, he performs surgery, but like John said, he rejects the family, sort of expectations. But eventually, he does become a doctor in the Harold and Kumar universe.
Is this what, 2 more films?
Was that in number? I don't think I've seen number 2. Was it number 2, number 3?
I think it was. Yeah. Let's see. The third one's the Christmas one.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was either towards the end of the second one, or it's like an important plot line of the third one. I probably haven't watched those in like 10 years. So I just thought.
The last one I watched, they were riding a cheetah. Was that number 1?
Yeah, the second one's them in Guantanamo Bay, which, very dated reference for everyone.
I have not seen it.
All right. So with that in mind, when it came to these categories, like what made you want to pick these characters?
I just thought a lot of them were just kind of quirky. Like, we're Kumar. Like, we've got these very serious characters like Sam. I mean, we've got Guanyin, the goddess of compassion. And then all of a sudden, like, Kumar, who's a pothead.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of a funny combo.
Perfect.
Oh, they're a diverse cast of characters with quirks and things that are going to set them back. And they're probably not going to get along very well.
So,
yeah, I think there's going to be some good conflict.
Excellent. So since this is the guy's first time, we grade on certain efforts here. I'll put here. That's the mission status. How well did you complete the mission? Teamwork. How well they work together. Sustainability. Would they remain a group after this mission happened? Strength. The strong strength of the team itself. And then fun is like, how fun would they be as a group? So the last time, not the last time, the current high score at this time is 48 points, done by Mark Flower and myself for one that Joshua ran. I will say today you have a good chance, especially since I forgot to put something in there in those notes, that if that happens, I'll have to remember it. So you could potentially get even higher than 48. You could also go lower than that, because there will also be negative points here for certain things that you could choose to do on this journey. All right, so gentlemen, it is now time to play. So all of you -1, find yourselves in a room where there are a bunch of dead bodies. You see, yes, so we're starting off very nice and easy. It's some dead dwarves, dead elves, dead humans, hobbits. But there is a survivor, 2 survivors, actually, one of which is joining your group, Sam. And you see a dying Elrond looking at you. And so we will explain what's going on. This is what he will tell you. Ages ago, Sauron corrupted the world of Middle-earth through his desire to rule everything. However, when he attempted to forge the Ring of Power, he was distracted in his final blow. Whether through the agency of the final actions of his former master Morgoth, or through the subtle designs of Eru Iluvatar, none know. Either way, his failed last strike created not the Ring of Power, but the Ring of Half Power. Having imbued his own soul, his fiat, into the ring, Sauron feared the results of making a second, more powerful ring. So he instead gathered forces under his thrall and attacked the men, elves, and dwarves of the land. But without the strength of the One Ring, he was not as powerful, and thus no alliance was formed between the races of Middle-earth, and thus no cooperation came between them. Sauron was eventually defeated by humans, and the Ring of Half Power taken, but it retained enough corrupting influences within itself to cause strife, and a civil war occurred where the ring was also lost to time. Ages later, the world was much different, and the ring was found by the burglar, Bilbo Baggins, who had found it in the clutches of Gollum, much the same as had happened before, but this time, Bilbo slew Gollum for the ring, when his riddles failed to test the corrupted hobbit. He journeyed with his dwarven fellows, and fought the dragon Smaug with Gandalf, but a mysterious figure appeared in the fight and slew, allowing Smaug to kill everyone there but Bilbo, who fled, choosing the ease of the ring to guide himself. Decades later, Saruman, unwilling to ally with the weak Sauron, became a warlord on his own right, and scoured the Shire, seeking the Ring of Half Power for himself. The surviving hobbits fled to Rivendell, where you find yourselves today. What do, gentlemen?
I'm going to say that before everything happens, Freakazoid is speeding and looking at each individual body very fast. And then as he gets to the last dead body, the camera pans to his face and he looks at the party and real quietly he whispers, "I think I see dead people."
That's funny. That's really funny. And no one gets the reference.
Yeah, with the team you've assembled, no one else gets the reference. In fact, I believe this to you, Nick. Considering that Freakazoid is created by nerds, would you think that he would have any knowledge of the Lord of the Rings universe?
I mean, especially if he, like John was saying, he downloaded the whole internet of the time. I mean, I would assume so. So maybe he would come in with some pre-existing knowledge.
Okay. Yeah, that might play into things. I want you to think about that as things go on.
Okay.
So, yes, he makes that very inappropriate comment, as is very appropriate for him, though. Now, what does your team do with this knowledge? As Elrond does tell you that...
Kumar wouldn't get
that he has the Ring of Half Power there, and he's going to entrust it with you to bring it to Mount Doom in order to destroy the ring. Now, I will also say, we're not going through 3 whole films here. We have a limited amount of time, so we will be speeding forward through some things, but focusing on others. So you don't have to worry about me keeping you here for 6 hours.
Boo.
Okay, so Elrond is giving us the ring.
He's dying. He says to this, Mafia is about to go to the Undying Lands. You know, if Eru Iluvatar wills, I will come back. But the way the world is, I don't know if I want to.
Do you think Dinde would try to fix him right there, try to do something? Because if he's trying to tell us something, maybe Dinde would try to heal him so he could speak more clearly or talk longer. Or see what
so we'll go ahead and have your first roll here. And in fact, you have 2 healers around, so I will allow you both to roll with advantage with Guanyin giving Dinde the help action. So if one of you would like to roll a d20 and the other do, let me know your result.
All right. I've got a 20.
I'd roll the 19.
No, he's saying he has a d20.
Oh, he has a d20. Okay, I roll the 19.
Yeah, roll your d20, John.
Oh, all right. 19.
Look at us.
Well done. And I'll say, let's just give him double proficiency because it makes sense. You've got yourselves a 31, and you have yourselves a living Elrond who is marveling at the healing magic you have both done here. Like, it is possible within, Middle Earth to do feats like this, but to have it be done so quickly and so deftly, like, he is completely in awe, and he immediately says that he will join you on this quest. Fearing the power of the ring himself, but at the same time knowing that he doesn't know why you're here, he doesn't know how you came here, but clearly you're here for a reason, and now you've saved his life. He's going to come with you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Elrond to the party, baby.
Okay. All right, so how would you like to proceed? Now that you have someone who knows the land a little better, you've got Sam with you who knows certain things too, you've got Freakazoid who knows enough about what would have been written in the 90s internet about, Middle Earth and the like. How are you going about things?
I think Kumar would be marveling at Elrond's ears at the time, and also, despite the fact being in a group of very diverse characters.
I think Kumar might know that it exists, but I think Kumar I think he would think that would be for like people who didn't have fun in high school.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
Do you think?
I will say that, real world reference, my pot smoking roommate watched Lord of the Rings every time he smoked.
Oh,
So-
that's true. And they do think, like, lots of people who are potheads think that the pipe weed that hobbits smoke is marijuana, even though it's not.
Obviously not.
So, yeah. So actually, Kumar might, and that was, I mean, that movie came out when the movies were out.
Yep,
So
you know what? I'll give you that too. So they will have enough knowledge to prepare a way. Also say that, things are dire. There are ring race out there. Like that still happened, with Celebrimbor and everything. Celebrimbor, either one. So other rings were made. There's still ring race and everything abounding. Sauron's forces are still out there. Orcs are in the land, but it's not as organized as it would have been in the original film.
Howdy guys, I really hate to interrupt, but my name's TJ, and I'm here to tell you about our new merch. We have incredible new stuff with Fourth Wall. We have just partnered with them as a new store. They have a lot more to offer, which means we have a lot more to offer. We can now offer you beautiful Comfort Colors t-shirts. They're so comfy. I wear mine all the time, and we've got it all now. Cups, hats, backpacks, pajamas. If you want your systematic geekology pajamas, you know where to go. My personal favorite is actually our Throne of Geeks shirt. It is Comfort Colors, blue, black, green, red, orange, and the shirts are just so nice. And the shirt itself, we've got the Throne of Iron geeked out because, that's our brand. We've got Mjolnir on there, the Buster Sword, Trident. Basically just the coolest weapons from our favorite properties are on the shirt instead of a bunch of normal boring swords from the boring series Game of Thrones. So check that out, and thank you.
And also, Sauron's like a shell of what he would have been because his only ring is pathetic little ring of half power.
And he is still a force out there, but he's not as big a force to reckon with if he had made the original ring.
Instead of 9 feet tall, Sauron is also 4.5 feet tall. So
I like this.
Perfect.
He's like Napoleon.
So I guess, with Freakazoid and Kumar's combined knowledge, they're, I would say that they're like, okay, so I'm guessing we need to go to Mordor and destroy this thing.
Yeah, they're both kind of geeking out different ways, though.
Yeah, like you said, I think Kumar is like eyes wide, looking at Elrond's ears, as you said, and then Freakazoid is actually, having side conversations about some of the more deeper, nerdy lore.
According to chapters.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So I guess they could say, I guess at this point, maybe Spyro, because Spyro is like the cool guy. And I think Spyro rolls his eyes and he's like, okay, enough of this. Like, I don't know what's going on. When are we going to destroy this thing? And when are we going to kick the Sauron's guy's butt?
Yeah, and I think Freakazoid would pretty much have the path already kind of like figured out from a written literal standpoint. Since when the internet was downloaded, the movies weren't out yet. He wouldn't actually know what it would look like. So Kumar is trying to recall his knowledge of the movies.
And Elrond would have maps to help you out. Not sophisticated, our centric kind of maps, but you would know like the way that the original Fellowship took to head that way. That you would probably have to go around the same way if you wanted to be as speedy as they were attempting to be.
Well, they have Spyro, and does Guanyin fly or no?
She's enlightened. I don't remember her doing anything like that, but
I think she can. I mean, most Chinese gods can fly.
You know what? I'll say yes. So you've got 2 flyers.
Okay. What is Spyro's canonical size?
Itsy bitsy.
Okay, so he's not. The Dende could sit on him.
Spyro is about
I'm trying to figure out
4
how many
feet
characters.
tall at best if he stands on his hind legs.
So maybe
Okay, so Dende only, because Dende's kind of like child. He might be able to sit on him, and they could scout or the path ahead. As we
I should also ask you here, who is holding the ring?
Okay, good question. Probably gonna have to go with my boy Sam because he's a hobbit, and that was one of the things about in the Lord of the Rings where they let the hobbit carry it. The hobbit seemed to be least affected by it. Or maybe, how about this? How about they take turns like holding it and seeing, and then like they spend a minute seeing who would get corrupted the fastest, and then they and they figure out who's the least affected by it, and then they
I'll say
decide that
Elrond
way.
will say,
Like an
the more
intelligent-
you pass it on to each other within a short amount of time, the easier it will be to corrupt someone. So sticking it with one person you trust would be more expedient.
I think
Okay, well, I would. My vote would be
I agree.
Samwise.
I think Sam would just take. I think he would volunteer as well. Like Sam's very selfless,
Okay.
so I agree.
Right.
And then of course the knowledge.
I mean, and it might corrupt him a little bit later on, but like with Frodo, Frodo made it almost all the way. You know, he didn't really lose it until they were climbing up that one thing, and Gollum tricked him into thinking Sam ate the bread. Like that was like Frodo made it a pretty good ways on the journey before he kind of lost
So
it.
we're going to make the first of several rolls, not at this moment, but across the journey, a corruption roll. And since you chose Sam, even after everything he suffered through, I think initially I'm going to give you advantage on a D100 D10 roll. So Nick, if you have a D100 D10, go for it. John, if you do, go for it. If not, I have one in hand.
Is that
It'd be the one with the 10, 20, 30.
Oh yeah, I've got.
the 10, 20,
Yes.
30 goes up to 90?
Is 0, 0.
No, it has a 0, 0.
Oh,
Okay.
I just rolled a 0, so
All right, let's see if our only happened one time, but tradition of copying each other happened. Let's see.
Okay.
I got a 50.
So with this, Sam, much like originally, has moments where, you know, it's like the ring tries to give him what he wants. He imagines a garden that he himself could be the only person in charge of that spreads across the land. And he kind of like laughs at the notion, but there's a bitterness to the laugh this time around. His friends are dead. Like Frodo is dead in the midst, killed as everyone was trying to take the ring for themselves in the council. But it's at that same time, the memory of his friend being who he was, what he was going to be willing to do, reaches into Sam. And he says, no, I have to live on to his legacy. With that 100 roll, he is A-OK. And there is no risk at this present time for Sam to be corrupted by the ring's influence.
what an icon.
Okay. All right. So heading as you were, once again, as the intended path was going to, you weren't heading towards where they eventually do with the Mines of Moria. But knowing the film as you do now, knowing the series as you do now, it is very easy for you to realize that Saruman's influence is once again afflicting the area you're going to. And he is railroading you, as it were, towards the Mines of Moria.
So is the quest still depend on secrecy?
It is one of those things where you're not sure what they know. So if you want to be secret about it, probably the better option.
Okay.
So who's pressuring us to go to the Mines of Moria? Is it Elrond?
Well, you know from how the story has gone, from the people who've read it or seen it or what have you, that that's how they went. And they're forced in the exact same way as they were in this direction due to the influence of Saruman.
So we originally intended to go to the Gap of Rohan.
Yes.
We see the Krebine, all this stuff, and then we're now, we'll just assume that we tried to go up the path of Caradhras, and then we're
And Spyro couldn't fly over there and breathe fire on Saruman?
He's not there.
This comes down to the question, John, when people are like, why didn't they just take the Eagles to Mordor? And it's because Sauron has too many people in his employment that would destroy the Eagles, first of all, but then they would also reveal the presence of the ring, and it would be easier for him to find it.
Or were they themselves corrupted by the ring?
True. So it depends. I don't know, John. Are you feeling like are you feeling lucky? Are you trying to take on Saruman?
Feeling like an overconfidence check from Spyro and just be like, why would we do that? I
Okay.
can fly over there,
So what's he thinking of doing?
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be so. I think we should have him, like you said. I think the Krebine are the first thing that we see, and I think that Elrond's like, oh, we're being watched because he has the knowledge. But then, as John said, Spyro's like, what's the big deal? I can fly and I breathe fire. I'll take care of these Krebine, no problem.
And he could burn them like he does in the games. He's thinking, these are just going to be like the butterflies floating around. I'm going to hawk some fire at them and I'll be fine.
Okay. So is he going solo?
I can't think of anyone else who could help him unless you had, I can't think of anyone else except for, I don't even think Freakazoid would be able to do much.
Yeah, I think Spyro's going solo.
I think he's going to solo this. He's going to like, watch this, guys.
Okay.
As, like a,
All right. Knowing the Krebine
tell me what the role
has been explained to him, he had said like easy enough that like they're not used to like being directly attacked, as it were. This is like kind of they're freaking out for a moment, but they don't break rank. And that becomes, let me see, Spyro, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check for him at disadvantage because he's in the midst of blasting them. One roll from each of you, please.
Okay. What dice?
D20.
Did it. I rolled an
Okay.
8.
Okay.
13.
I'd say Spyro's a pretty perceptive guy normally, but like due to the fact that he's engaged in what he's doing, even with like a 13, 14, it's not enough for him to not be taken by surprise as spectral, deathly, darkly evil beings we know as the Nazgul come and attack him on his lonesome. 3 of them.
Oh. Thank you all so much for your time listening to this episode. If you want to help sponsor our show, but you can't quite do the membership thing, commit to that once a month payment, good news, you can leave a donation on our Fourth Wall website. You also can get some free content over there. So if you don't have the money for the membership, but you still want to hear some of the extras and bonuses we do over on Fourth Wall, there's an option for that. If you want to support the show without that commitment every month, again, you can donate over there. Every little bit helps. You know, our show has a lot of needs when it comes to equipment, when it comes to going to some of the events we want to go to, advertising, getting the word out about our show. It takes a lot, and we really appreciate each and every person who's able to help us do it, even if it's something free, just like the free membership or leaving a rate and review on our site. Every little bit helps. Your time listening to this helps, and we appreciate all of you. We're so proud of the community we formed over at Systematic Ecology, and we're very happy and we're proud that you're a part of it. Thank you so much for your time and for being a part of this community.
3 Nazgul.
Awesome.
So he's not dead, but he's already been hit.
Okay, so Freakazoid's gonna have to run really fast and acquire Spyro after he falls out of the
They're
air.
in the midst of battling in the air.
Okay.
I'm going to see Guanyin has powers, so instead of fighting the Nazgul head on, I'm going to see if Guanyin can
use brilliance to blind them real quick.
Yeah, and then Spyro can escape.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Like no role needed for her. She has all the opportunity to line up the shot. You basically get a little, flashbang for them, and they're like thrown off their tracks. They don't fall onto the ground, but like they're barely hanging in the air. Spyro, who wasn't prepared for it either, also kind of falls down, but he's more wounded. But it's easy enough for her to go and get him before he does fall to the ground. So he will not take permanent damage from a fall, but he still has the wound inflicted by the Nazgul inside of him. What do you do now?
Well, Dende is going to have to heal him, and then they're going to have to escape the area.
All right. So this is done under duress, so it will be a straight roll, because technically it'd be advantage, disadvantage. But since, he's good, the advantage being because he's good at it, the disadvantage being on the run, like, go give me a straight medicine roll, whoever wants to roll.
All right. Let's do this thing. Come on, Dende. 9.
Okay. So he is unfamiliar with the different properties inside of a Nazgul himself. These are brand new creatures to Dende. He's used to corrupting forces, as it were, in his own reality. We'll just say it's composite Dende. He's been around for a bit. But it's enough for him to start healing the wound, but not take away the full force of whatever, like almost like a Komodo dragon kind of in a sense, tearing away at Spyro. But you are free. The Nazgul don't follow you because they're too blinded at this moment. But your path that way, if they recover, they know exactly where you'd be.
Oh, also, Kumar would know Kumar and Freakazoid would know who Spyro is at the same time. So I think Kumar would be super freaking out and be like, oh, it's Spyro. He's hurt. Not Spyro. He's like my favorite video game character. And
as someone who hasn't played a lot of them, he doesn't have poison resistance or anything like that in any of the lore. I want to be accurate as possible.
He's always got random power ups in the world he's got, but I don't know how we would incorporate that.
I just want to be sure if there's that one person out there who's going to say, well, actually, Spyro 6, under whatever that this happened. Okay, sure.
Spyro 6.
Okay.
And I
haven't played all the Spyros.
And I think that Freakazoid's going to interrupt and then say something quippy, and he's going to say, talk about Flight of Dragons. There's a 1970s reference for you.
Yes. And actually, I find this very interesting. Roll me another D100, just one of you, please.
Let's see if I can beat a 0 here.
Go ahead.
I did 40.
40. Okay. It is very apparent across the group that Freakazoid is starting to get on their last nerve.
It's because he's like jumpy, jolty, and
where even Jovial Sam is kind of like, I don't know. And that may have negative effects for certain checks made later on.
He has really been unhelpful.
I love this so much. Okay. So Now, what are your options in front of you for heading forward?
So I think Elrond, probably in the midst of all this, he is disheartened, maybe a little annoyed, with Freakazoid's whole interjection of references that he doesn't understand. And he is like, we only have a couple options here. And the best one is probably going through the mines of Moria. And, everyone except Spyro, Dende. Well, I guess the three, yeah. Spyro, Dende, and Guanyin. Well, I guess, and Sam. Sam wouldn't know either. He's not educated to that degree. He knows Elvish, but he doesn't know what the mines of Moria are.
Yeah, he'd know.
Elrond tells them.
Say friend and enter.
Yeah.
Easy enough. There's no time for the Watcher in the water to take anybody. Like it's like a non-factor.
And Freakazoid and Kumar would know the reference. They would know the answer regardless if Sam knew the answer to the riddle. They would just be like, they would already know. Like, oh, look, it's the door. They'd be
Do you
really
think
excited.
they would have said it before Elrond had the opportunity to say it?
I think Freakazoid would.
Oh, that would be great. Like deflation for Elrond to be like, I know the password. And then they say it, like both Freakazoid and Kumar at the same time. And it pisses them off.
Just like, real quick, Melon.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. They say friend and enter. Like, no issue here. It is, if anything, somehow more drabby and dark and everything. And this is kind of like, to the people who have knowledge of the books, like everything being off course in the first place, being this like grimdark is very disconcerting. Like, this is not Tolkien at all. Like, he was more hopeful optimism. Yeah, there's some times so, things couldn't be beaten. Like, Frodo was never going to be able to reject the ring, all that jazz. At the very end, it had to be Gollum taking it into the lava, as it were. But this is not him. And it's really starting to grind their gears. Like, why? How could things get like this messed up? And it doesn't help when they get down. They're aware. They would have told everyone, hey, the dwarves are going to be dead. But when they get to the inscription, it's different. And it's even worse than before. The dwarves were already fighting amongst themselves before. Supplies had dwindled. Accusations of cannibalism were rampant. People were dying right and left. And then the goblins and orcs attack. And it's very quiet and dreary, but based on the knowledge your characters would have,
Like
yes, that they would still be around. They're nearby, but there are going to be more of them because there were fewer dwarves to fight.
So now goblins are coming our way because of the lack of dwarves that have now.
Oh, they're unaware of your presence because you knew they'd be there based on character knowledge.
Oh, okay.
But you also know there's more of them because there are less dwarves.
Are we going to try to sneak through?
Gotcha.
All right.
Are we still going to try to sneak through, or are we just going to open the door and they're going to be like, turn their heads, see us immediately?
That's up to you.
Guanyin has like an internal light that she can use to, she's got like a cantrip, where she can light herself up there. So I don't know, should we risk, like Gandalf, should we risk a little light here?
Well, none of them can see in the dark, so what choice do we have? Except for maybe Spyro, unless Spyro's got some cannon where he can see in the dark.
Caves.
But then that wouldn't help anybody.
He's also really debilitated at the moment with what's in his veins.
Yeah, so.
Do you think that
if we're in the mine,
do you think
we need lights?
Do you think, can we do Guanyin turning on her lights, and then afterwards, I think we should try to have Elrond, who is knowledgeable of stuff, do a little more healing to Spyro, since there's, at least right now, no threat of direct danger.
Yeah, you can certainly attempt to do this. I will say that given the characters you have, it is more likely to be found out based on certain roles. Given how the healing process would work with the magic they have at their disposal, it's kind of obvious hand wavy and light show kind of thing.
Okay,
but it's still doable. Like, you could still roll well enough to where no one would see you, especially with advantage because you're working together on this issue.
Would Guanyin have the ability to give everyone night vision?
I think that'd be a bit much. I've granted quite enough.
You think so? Like, she can't impart powers to people?
If it is something in the lore and I didn't see it, then sure, you can call me out later on. For right now, I'm going to say no.
How about, can I roll Can I roll for a Guanyin? Okay. Or I guess both might be is the best.
Yes.
14 for me.
Okay.
12.
Okay. So what you both realize is that everyone involved realizes, okay, we've got it intact. He's not going to die anytime. His wings are still bruised and battered. sort of, he's not going to fly anytime soon, but he's able to walk. He can breathe fire. He's aware of his surroundings. He's more able than he would have been if you hadn't have done this. And because you rolled the way you did, no one has noticed you doing this except for one figure. And you hear in the background, passions. And you see this messed up, you like Kumar and Freakazoid are like expecting Gollum to show up, but no, wait a minute, he's dead. And instead you see the deformed
Bilbo
Baggins heading your way.
I caught it.
And we're going to do something
And
special.
Kumar's like, that's not supposed to happen.
We're going to leave it there for right now. We're going to do a part 2. Well, I mean, we're still going to do a recording with this, guys, but to help our editor out, to make sure things don't go over an hour, we've been splitting stuff up like this because it messes up his laptop if that happens. So this will be part 1 of the journey. Heading that way, do you guys have anything you want to recommend to the audience?
I've been playing the heck out of Red Dead Redemption 2, if no one's picked that up. That is an amazing, probably the most photorealistic nature with animals and stuff that I've ever played.
Yeah. Nick?
New season of Rick and Morty. I'm a big Rick and Morty guy. These first 3 episodes have been better than the last couple seasons in a little while, so it's worth your time if you like Rick and Morty.
Perfect. All right. I have been rereading some of the old H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Love the writing, not the writer so much, but that's the world we live in. So thank you guys for everything. Well, we'll be back for part 2 next time. Please, if you get a chance, leave a 5-star review in your podcasting platform of choice. Help us rating there. Help us find more people. Feel free to help us out in any way you see fit. You can join us down below in the link to get all the extra content we're doing here. This bonus question, by the way, later on will be knowing the story as you do now. Who would you have switched one or more of your character picks to and why? But that, of course, will be after the 2nd episode. So shout out some supporters real quick. Thank you to Russell Gentry, Justin Vaughn, Annette Noel, and Jeannie Mattingly. You guys are the best. But remember, we're all the chosen people, a geekdom of priests.
Hey friends, it's your pal Will Rose here, and let me break the fourth wall a moment and look directly at you through the camera or speak directly to you in your earbuds. Yep, I'm talking to you, Susie. You too, Chad. You can now support Systematic Geekology on Fourth Wall. That's a website. You'll find all of our episodes, incredible merch like shirts and hoodies and mugs. Chad, I would love to see you in one of those shirts out in the wild. You get bonus episodes. We answer bonus questions. We have special shout outs. We have certain episodes that you pick. So you help us create and curate the content that we put out for the world to hear. You even get free merch. And you can support the show at different levels. You could join at the free level. Yep, we love free members, free support. Join it. Or you could become a sidekick for as little as $5 a month. You could join the elves and dwarves for $10 a month. You could become a wizard for $15 a month, or you could go to divinity school and become a cleric for $20 a month. And that's way cheaper than going to seminary, believe me. Or at $25 a month, you could become a superhero. And let me just say, we love all of our listeners, whether you support us at the free level or the superhero level. We love you. We love geeking out with you. Support, share the show. Love you.
This is Joshua Knoll. I am one of the hosts of this podcast. I am also host a few other shows on the Anazal Podcast Network that this show is a part of. If you want to hear more from me, you can check out the Whole Church Podcast, where TJ and I go through talking to people from various different church traditions to see what can be done to better harness church unity in the world today. You can also hear me on Be Living Water, where I talk about Taoist Christian beliefs and examine various media like the Book of Daniel and Les Miserables through a Taoist Christian perspective. You can also hear me as I do some of the voice work for the Bible After Hours, where the foul-mouthed preacher goes through the Bible from a more progressive point of view. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you'll consider checking out these other shows on the Anazal Podcast Network.